any of your peers because they would sever a limb to be that miserable on the 17th floor.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see the forest for the trees, so
This is all prior to that, though. This is 92, 93. This is like, you're the last person I got so drunk I threw up with. It was when, it was in 1990, you were moving out the next day to do Camp Wilder with Jerry O'Connell and
Academy Award winner.
And yes, and Hilary Swank. And
she has 2 Oscars.
It's a big deal. Jerry's good in a play now.
Meryl Streep has 1 Oscar.
Well,
all right.
So, and you just were like, we went to Peggy Sue's and you were like making me do shots and I got like legit drunk and threw up. And that's the last time I've done that. That was 1992 or 3. So long time
post
ago.
MTV's Lip Service.
Yes.
So then I don't know. Well, then it was super early. I thought it was later than that. Then I don't know.
No, it was just mania. You were manic. That's the best word for it, dude. And I feel like you were manic, and you would try to like drink to fucking come down or something.
I only drank because I love being drunk and getting fucked up. And I liked the way it felt. But the thing also with the mania and having like a manic episode, and I'm not like bipolar, but you get times when you're manic. And then if I was doing like a character of like a drill sergeant, like Brewer and I had a private conversation on the phone, like, what the fuck was that about? Like, I would get locked in, like, to the guy going, let me tell you something, fella. Like, it would start as like a guy, from the used car lot. I don't know about that, Neal. You might want to fucking check your sources before you step to me. And then I would get kind of like, I would never come out of that gear, and I would just keep going and going and going. And I think the mania combined with playing the caricature of a guy.
The character of Jay Mohr.
Was there one?
No, but it was, you were like this fucking obnoxious, you were like a fucking obnoxious, incorrigible runaway. There was literally no talking to you. It's like the best story is, I wasn't there for it, but this guy Jason Steinberg, somebody brought a taser around. You remember this?
So
Jay tased this guy. Yeah. He tased this guy Jason Steinberg.
In his ass.
Jason falls to the floor apparently fucking as if he'd been tased. Fucking writhing. And everyone's laughing at him. It's like, this is how I pictured it. Everyone's laughing at him and are a little creeped out that you did it. But it's one of those things that's like, fuck it. It's funny once. Jason stands up. What does Jay do? Tases him a second time.
I don't recall that second time at all. I was like,
but you blacked out.
I immediately went to say that's not true, but that would delegitimize what you're saying. But my gut, I know exactly the tasing of Jason Steinberg's ass, and there was such. The efficacy, by the way, of a taser is astounding.
How great they are. How reliable they are.
It's like when Obi-Wan Kenobi dies and just a fucking robe on the ground. That was Jason Steinberg in the middle of a packed dance floor.
Yeah.
And set it off on the left now, set it off on the... Brrr, and that fucker went down like Obi-Wan. Just took that fucking saber from Darth Vader. And I remember the immediate response. First, I was aware of the fact that I had committed assault.
Right.
With a deadly weapon.
You had to get the fuck out of there.
I had to get it away from me. I wasn't leaving the fucking bar.
Right.
Because I was drinking for free.
Right.
And I was also aware of the fact that I had stepped so far over a line that I had to be like, oh, come on.
Right.
It's a taser. So I doubt that I tased him a sec. I don't want to say what you're saying is untrue, but it seems.
I wasn't there, but
okay, well then I did. If you were not there, I would say there's no way I tased him.
It immediately became 2 tases within 24 hours, which that's what makes me believe that you did tase him. Also, it's more in your character at that point to have tased someone twice than once.
The panic, realizing I just fucking tased another human that did nothing. There was no aggression, like as a joke, and the need to get the taser out and get this person up and running and not go tell the police.
Right.
Would completely whiteboard erase the second tasing.
Right. Oh, like you may have blacked it out, or you may not have done it.
No, there's no way I would have done it twice.
Okay.
Because I was aware enough.
I'm curious as to what your listeners, if they believe Jay Mohr tased Jason Steinberg once or twice, and I'd also like to get Jason Steinberg's recollection because he would probably remember. I think he may have been the one who told me.
Because he is the pillar of fucking keeping stories straight.
Yeah. Wait, no juices.
You want to come to my party? Hey, Nick, come shots.
Come shots.
This is the guy, Jason Steinberg, I took to my doctor, Dr. Frank, on Spring Street, who we found out about 20 years later was never a doctor.
Wow.
Was just a guy dressed as a doctor that took care of us, gave us codeine, gave us flu shots. When you had like strep throat, he wrote the prescription. He was just like a mob doctor down in Spring. Remember Dr. Frank?
I remember
Spring
you talking
Street,
about it. I never went.
When me and Mike DiNicola used to live on Spring Street, right a little south of there.
Yeah.
And I used to go for a B12 shot. It was just during SNL. And I go to get a B12 shot, and Jason goes, "What are you doing? Hey, fag? What are you doing?" And I go, "I'm going to get B12 shots." And he goes, "Cum shots, all right." You know, he had a bit of echolalia with the word cum shots.
Yeah.
So I talk him into getting a vitamin B12 shot. Dr. Frank, little did I know, Jason was like a club promoter. He'd be at the Limelight, and I didn't realize, how could you, that he would stay up for 4 days at a time and burn the candle. Not a drug guy, just burn the candle.
Talk about manic. I mean, yeah, he had
burn the candle at both ends, and he'd be at the Limelight constantly burning the candle at both ends for 4 days, like a meth person, but with no drugs. So when the vitamin B12 hits his system says, what the fuck? Yeah. And again, he hits the deck like Obi-Wan Kenobi's. And he's just laying there having a seizure, and Dr. Frank grabs him and slaps him in the. Oh, I had my shot first. He shoots me with the shot. No, shoot. All right, let me get this straight. I'll tidy it up in post.
Look, it's your show.
He gives Jason. All right, everyone starting right now is exactly how it happened. Dr. Frank gives Jason a vitamin B12 shot. Switches the needle out. Gives me a vitamin B12 shot. As he's giving me my shot, Jason has a grand mal seizure and hits the deck. And Dr. Frank grabs him by the shirt, by like the lapels, and is going, "What's wrong with your friend?" And he's slapping Jason in the face, going, "Stop it."
And you didn't realize he's not a good doctor.
No, didn't realize it at all. Yeah, free codeine. He's going, "Stop it. Stop it." He goes, "Something's very wrong with your friend. This is not normal." And in hindsight, it's a B12 shot. It's completely you have to stay up for 4 or 5 days to have your body freak out from a B. Right. No one's allergic to B12. Well, they probably are, so save your tweets. Right. So then he goes, "Go around the corner and go buy him some juice." Meanwhile, I just had the same shot. I'm not leaving a fucking doctor's office to maybe have a seizure halfway up fucking
you
Thompson
don't know if
Street.
you're going to have the same.
I'm going to have it in this office when you got all the tools.
You're like 40 seconds behind him.
Yeah, I'm right behind him. So I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. And he goes, "Your friend is very strange. He needs juice." It's basically Harvey Keitel as a doctor.
That's bananas. No way.
You know what? Absolutely not. Did I tase him a second time?
I don't know. I don't remember who told him the story. I just remember. I don't know if it was Jason but it was soon after.
Once you tase someone once, you've earned the second, third, fourth. Anything added to that story. Like, I've already tased a defenseless human, a pacifist.
No, but I remember it being the story. The point of the story was that you're fucking relentless and that Jay Mohr is relentless and crazy. That was why they were telling me the story. Like, this fucking guy, Jay Mohr. And that's the best way I would describe you at that point is like fucking relentless. Yeah. And like so when I started working jobs.
You're the first person, by the way, that's been able to go, "Let me explain to you how you were."
Oh, really?
Because I'm always telling Corolla, Corolla, this all started, how you were an asshole. And you said before we came on, it was a great quote. I like how every comic that was an asshole in the 90s.
Now, they tries to make amends with a podcast. It's like Maron's the only guy. Maron's success of Maron's podcast is largely predicated on the fact that he was a dick to 175 people, which has got to be a record. It's like, who had that fucked up, who has that many fucked up relationships? But that's the key to his podcast. It's like, I had I didn't like you and I was wrong. But next week, this fucking guy, I didn't like either, and I'm going to show him. And then he just every week. And then
we'll mix in John Hamm.
Exactly. And then he has to, and every week it's like, "Oh, I was wrong about you."
My thing, Corolla asked me on his radio station long ago, he goes, "You are the comic that other comics have the hardest time admitting is funny." And I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah, like I'll tell people Jay Mohr was in here and he absolutely obliterated, never seen any," and they'll go, "Eh." And I'll go, "No, you don't understand. He was just here."
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I've never seen again. You know what? The word relentless was used.
Right. They would say you were relentless, or Adam would describe you as relentless on the show.
Relentless. It was like the fucking Normandy invasion.
Yeah, no, I've heard that about you doing radio too. I didn't disagree or agree. I was just like, oh, cool. I didn't surprise him.
And he said, why is it? And I said, because I was just I was an asshole. And nobody wants to go, that guy that slighted me sure is great when he's on your show, Adam.
Yeah, but having said that, a lot of people have nice shit to say about you, too. There are people that...
I think it's a 10-year living the right way.
But I also think it's like Ralphie May.
Hey, Claire.
Ralphie May. I just heard Kreischer on Maron's podcast saying that you're the reason he... Dom Irera, when I told him I was doing your show, was like,
Dom.
Jay basically got me a part on a sitcom just by helping me for a Damon Wayans sitcom. Like, you were just... relentless with helping him audition for it.
I'm a grinder, Neal.
Tell me, dude, I'm the worst grinder. You know what I call myself now is when I Miggs somebody. That's what Hannibal Lecter did. I always do it to my writing partners or editors. Miggs was Hannibal Lecter's neighbor who told Clarice that he could smell her cunt.
Yes.
And then the next day,
I can smell your cunt.
Yeah. The next day, Hannibal Lecter drove him so crazy that he ate his own tongue. He made Miggs eat his own tongue just by talking to him through the wall. And that's how I consider myself. Like, I can fucking... And you're the same way, where you're just fucking relentless and you get something in your craw where you're like, I'm fucking feel this way about you and I'm not going to stop doing this.
What do you mean you're not sure if you want to do it? It's a sitcom. You're Dom Irera. I don't know the specifics. I don't even remember it. But it's like, and you got to be off book when you go in there because they don't want you. They want 15 other guys. You got to go in there and create a fucking problem, Dom. You got to go in there and be the guy where they go, where the fuck did he come from?
Yeah.
But I'll obsess.
Yeah.
And I'll call back the next day going, are you off book? Are you off book? Are you off book?
Yeah, and there's a positive, that's the positive use of it. The negative use of it is like, that's my stove and my fucking painting and my records. And it's like, okay. And you just, cause you must have had it in your head, like, that I was somehow either a perceived weakness in me that you wanted to fucking grind all the way down.
Never.
Or a perceived something that made you want to...
It wouldn't have mattered who was on the futon.
Got it.
It wouldn't have mattered.
That was a monologue you needed to deliver.
Yeah. And, there's times my wife will say, like, what? And I'll be doing, like, Behringer. I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
Yeah.
Y'all smoke the shit to escape. And I'm doing it while I'm taking a leak. And my wife will be upstairs going, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Lias was a water walker. Do-gooder. Yeah. And she'll go, what? And I go, we're trying to fight this war like them politicians. One hand tied behind his balls.
Yeah.
And she'll come downstairs and go, I go, I'm just quoting Platoon. And she goes, do you need me to respond? Like, she's so confused.
No. We're talking about two different things. The monologue about the bidet, or not the bidet, the fucking futon and the painting and the records. That's some relentless shit in your head.
Yes. I'm tying it to present day where I'll walk around the house just vomiting sounds.
Right, but what I'm saying is,
and if she said,
what do you think that thing of needing to reduce me at that point, or reduce Jay, or having needed to reduce people? It felt like maybe a preventative measure.
Yeah, I mean, my dime store psychology would say, having my legs taken out my whole life, I'm just going to beat you to the punch. But you,
by whom?
Just the neighborhood.
Right.
Older kids kicking the shit out of you every day. Public schools in New Jersey, just not being Italian. Having the actual cast of the Jersey
worst
Shore.
Crime you can commit.
It is really the worst one.
In New Jersey.
Like, the cast of Jersey Shore is exactly what my high school looked like.
Yeah.
And they, you just show up to school and they go, hey, Matt Venezia is looking for you. And you're like, what the fuck did I ever do to Matt Venezia? But that's just how it goes.
Right.
That's why Jackie tests for his Greenbelt Saturday. He'll never know that knot in his stomach of, ugh. He'll say, why don't you just bring him out and let's get it over with? So I think it was preemptive, but you need to know, I need you to know, there was no weakness in you that I needed to,
Oh, no, I don't look back on that and be like, there was something wrong. I'm just wondering what about you made you, because you would do it to fucking anybody you could do it to.
I don't know. I really don't know. But it's something that died a very natural death. There was no, revelatory discussion with a psychiatrist, and there was no, it was pre-medication for panic, perhaps, maybe my wiring was just bananas, But
do you still take shit?
I take Klonopin in the morning and Klonopin at night. 1 milligram in the morning, 1 milligram at night. It's all very well documented in the book Gasping for Airtime, which, by the way, you can get on Amazon.com. If you go to jmohr.com,
right.
Neal.
Walk me through this.
Okay. Anything you buy on Amazon, go through my website to get it, and that's how you can help support the podcast. So if you want to buy one of my books, or if you want to buy a season's DVD of the Chappelle Show, go to